Okay, so we got all of these get rich quick people out there. We got self-help people. We got the YouTube influencers. We got the books, the MP3s. Back in my day, it was the audio tapes and programs and memberships. We got all types of different types of businesses that people are going into, mom and pop, storefront, online, all of these different types of businesses, all of them. And if you were to look at it, like if you were to look at the picture that's being portrayed, is you would think that there's just people making all types of money. They're just making a whole bunch of money, and that all you got to do is follow their program, or all you got to do is start a business, and you're gonna be able to make all of this money. Well, what I did is I went and I got the numbers. These are the true numbers. These are the true numbers of what business owners, individual business owners are making. Individual business owners, the average. And when I tell you these numbers, you're going to be shocked because the numbers don't bear out what you're seeing out there. I'm going to be a person who is very honest with you when I tell you this. Like, it's going to hurt a lot of your feelings, but if you are a strong person and you really want to be successful in a business, you will just put yourself into that business, whatever it is. There is no business that's better than another business. It's basically what your talents are and what you like to do. And if you can monetize that, that's the secret to becoming successful in the business. It doesn't matter. It, like, for me, if someone said, well, Steve, here's a franchise that you can run, I would not be happy running the franchise. I would leave it. You have to find something that you want to do, but that thing that you want to do, you have to be able to monetize it. You could love to do it, but if you can't monetize it, then it becomes just an expensive hobby, or maybe not too expensive. And but here are the numbers. Here are the numbers with all of this get rich quick stuff out there, all of these motivational seminars, all of these workshops, people doing all of this stuff. Let me tell you what the average solo business non-employee income is. It's $24,000. $24,000. The business owners with employees, the median income, the income that probably the top level make is about $110,000. The average entrepreneur's overall is 77,000 down to 75,000. That's what they're making. Like, when everything is said and done, all of the stuff is paid, that's what they're making. Now, here's the benefit. If you go to work for someone and you're making $75,000, if you're taking that home, that's good. You don't have all of the other worries, but you have someone that can come in and be like, hey, you're gone, or they cut your salary. They're over you. Or if you run your own show, yeah, you might work more hours, and you're responsible for everything, but you're making that amount of money, and you're able to get a little bit of relief by writing off with your taxes. But the big deal is that, the big eye opener is that with all of the stuff that's out there, with all of the different programs, with all the get rich quick stuff, with all of the memberships, with all of the programs and the workshops and the website, this and that, and, start your business online and make all of this money, or open up this shop and make all of this money, a lot of people are not making a lot of money. As a matter of fact, here's the difference. These are the median incomes, and there's barely any in the middle. It's a very small percentage, and then it jumps all the way up to the 1% who are making over $1 million a year. 1%, the 1%. And I'm not even talking about the 1/10 of 1% who are making, multi, 10 million, 20 and up. I'm talking about just that 1% that is taking home $1 million or more. So it's a very small percentage. So what's the lesson in all of this? What's the lesson in all of this? The lesson in all of this is that when you start a business, it's not going to be something that you just play around with. If you're going to get to a level of success that you dream about, what you want for yourself, what you want for your family, the down deep reason that you even started your business, you're going to need to put everything into it. Everything. I tell a story about when I started my first company in 1990 at the age of 20, and it was going pretty good. We wasn't making a lot of money, about $36,000 a year, but we were doing good. It was way better than the job that I had as a security guard job that I was only making $284.64 per every 2 weeks. That's what I was making at $6 and something an hour after taxes. So it was a lot better than that, but it wasn't a whole bunch of money. But we were in control of our lives, my wife and I. So after 8 months, I quit my security guard job. Some people may say, well, it was easy to quit. No, it wasn't easy to quit. It wasn't easy to quit because when I quit, that meant that everything was on us. 100%. Our income, supporting the family, paying our rent, groceries, everything was going to be on us. And so it is a big decision because you won't even if it's a little bit of income, people will be like, well, I want to at least have that continue coming in. That's why it took 8 months, because I could have quit by the 5th month, but it took me 3 months to just get up the courage to quit. Now, when I quit the job, the security guard job, to go 100% into my business, we had the main reason behind it was we had a contract that we had with a grocery store, and it was $2,000 a week to pass out flyers. Now we're talking back in the 90s, early 90s. So it wasn't like no internet existed. It was basically flyers or newsprint ads. We were in the newsprint free publication business, and stores just believed in passing out flyers door to door. They didn't want to do it by the mail because it was more expensive, but if they could find a reliable company to pass them out, and a lot of times they were hiring people in the neighborhood, they would just throw the flyers away. So we said, we guarantee they won't get thrown away. They said, how will we guarantee? Because me and my wife are going to do it through the whole week. What they basically wanted it to like about 10,000 residents that were in a circle in their grocery store. $2,000 a week for that. We were like, we're on our way. That's $8,000 a month. We're on our way. Well, after doing it 2 times, the store decided they didn't want to use us anymore to do it. That I guess they came up with getting their own people that would have been cheaper. I don't know. They just didn't want to do it. That's up to them. That's their own business decision. I immediately got scared and went and applied at this local mall for a security guard job, just to be, it was just like this is like a test. It's like you grasp, you panic, and even though the business was still going, we still had that income, but having that shock of that $2,000 just being wiped away that we depended on, I kind of was like, I better go and get something just so we can have this little extra coming in. And I remember it to this day. I went to the interview, and the person who was interviewing it was another security guard job at a local mall. The guy said, we normally don't hire people on the spot, but because of your resume, which I had worked with another security guard job, and I was also former military, that he was like, I'm going to hire you on the spot. And I said, wait, sir, I must apologize to you. I had started my own business and we had something happen and I kind of panicked, and I apologize for wasting your time. I think I'm going to just go and do my business 1,000%. And if it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I really apologize for your time. And I got up and walked out of there. And I went to, and my wife and children were waiting in the car. And, I remember, she said, well, what did they say? And they said they gave me the job, but I didn't take the job. And my wife was like, okay, we're going to just do our business. And that was like, from that day forward, we never thought about ever having to work for somebody ever again. Ever, ever, ever again. And we grew that business into a multi-million-dollar company. It lasted for 35 years. And it was in the print advertising business, which, because when the internet came about, it slowly started decreasing that business, and we kind of flipped it over to doing online advertising and consulting for companies. And then we just eventually ended up just dissolving that company, and I helped a couple of my top sales reps start their own company because they just wanted to be in that business. For me, it wasn't to be in it anymore. But we didn't even sell the business. We just dissolved it. We made sure that the employees, we gave them time to transition to do what they wanted to do with get other jobs. And, but over those years, I was able, because of the success of that business, because of the belief I had with myself in that business, I was able to open up other companies and multiple companies. And as of right now, I still maintain 3 different companies, and all of those companies are future, related business. What I mean by that is that they're going to always have customers in the future, always. Like they're just people are busting down the doors to do business with the 3 companies that we maintain, and then other than that, just investments that we have. So I wanted to make this video to kind of let you know that to be able to be successful in business, you're going to have to, kind of, I don't want to say you don't need to listen to podcasts and stuff like that, and go to the workshops and, just be very careful. Just understand that that there are no secrets out there about business. You deep down know inside what you need to do for your business. And you deep down know inside if you're only doing your business for the money or if you like doing your business. If you can get to that level, I think that you'll have the clarity in your mind, you'll have the openness in your body, in your spirit, to be able to continue to do the business even when the business is not making as much money as you want, because you're doing it not just for the money, you're doing it because you like the product or the service that you're offering. That's a very important piece of being successful in any business. So I'd like to know your comments on this video. Post them below. I know I haven't been able to post in a while, but just wanted to get on here and put this content up for you, give you something to think about. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.